Hello captains, welcome back. I am Captain Cash the Stampede. As we wrap up the last week of Year 1 Season 4, finally, I have been reminded by a few members of the Armada that I have not given small ships the love that they deserve. I had done a build for the sloop a while back, but I missed out on showing off builds for two other really solid small ships that are more than likely collecting dust somewhere in your collection. Of course, medium-sized ships can pack more punch since they have more guns, but newer captains may not be aware that the upgrade system has given some of our smaller ships the ability to fight well above their weight limit. Now, I can hear some of you in the comments right now talking about how the devs are introducing a new upgrade system that will change how we upgrade our ships next season, and you are not wrong. By the way, if you want to learn more about that, click the link on the top right of this screen right now, or check the link at the end of today's video. But even with the new system, these builds will still be very potent on day one and should be even effective the first few weeks of Year 2 Season 1. So today, I finally want to take some time to talk about the Bedar and the Barge and show off a build for each of these. As we get going, a quick shout out to Captain Chester P and Captain Baron, because both of them were the ones who pointed out that I hadn't done the small ship vid yet, and the Bedar that we are featuring today in the build is actually made by a community member, Chester P. So thank you captains, I tip my hat to both of ye. Now, as we get going today, I do want to point out that each of these ships that you are going to see today will be at upgrade level 6 of 6, and to get the most out of these builds, you will eventually want yours upgraded all the way as well, because that's how you access some of their best perks. Oh, and if you are watching this video after Year 2 begins, fun fact, you will be given enough upgrade materials to take one of each class of ship to upgrade level 3. This, incidentally, is the level that unlocks a DPS boost for smaller ships. All small ships gain the perk Big Guns at level 3, so this gives you a bow and an auxiliary weapon add-on, as well as a 50% boost to your broadside weapons. So, if you are a new captain, you will only need to worry about finding or funding the final 3 levels once you get yourself started. Now, starting with the Inception, my Bedar that will be sporting Captain Chester's build today. We have a ship which class-wise is basically the Brigantine's smaller brother. Both of these ships were made to do 3 things: go fast, burn stamina, ram shit, and not necessarily in that order. They do get a nice boost to flooding too, and this is one of the things that you're going to be taking full advantage of with this build, along with a liberal application of fire that we'll go over in a bit. But with the Bedar, you do get a very nice ability to apply the flooding status to a ship when you ram them. You get this instantly. You also leave that same ship with a 30% increase to their reload time for 30 seconds. Now, ramming is an attractive option here because the ship gets a 25% boost to ramming damage, and you gain an additional speed boost while pursuing an enemy that is within 300 meters. All of this comes from the ship's primary perk called Lancer. At upgrade level 6 of 6, you unlock the Jousting Ship perk, and this will boost your ramming damage even more based on your speed. There is a cap to this at 150% to prevent any extreme abuse of the perk, but and you will also reduce the enemy's ship armor by 300 for 30 seconds. Also, a nice little bonus. So without firing a single shot, this ship can ram someone and leave them flooded with less armor and an increased reload time. Not too damn shabby if you ask me. But to raise the bar even more, good old Captain Chester added a way to activate the Ablaze status instantly as well, allowing the Bedar to activate 4 debuffs every single time you ram a target, provided that you time it correctly. Now, how did he do it, do you ask? Well, he did it with my favorite auxiliary weapon that's in the game, the Infernal Maw. I have personally preached from the Book of Maw since day one, and it is things like this that make this weapon an absolute must-have. See, The minefields will trigger one at a time when you hit them, or if you like the boomies, then you shoot a fire round. Let me make sure I say that specifically. You shoot off a fire round, so like a fire long gun or a fire bombard round. You shoot this into the minefield, and this will make the entire thing explode with 300% increased damage. You also set ships ablaze instantly, and this is how the Bedar is getting its 4th buff. Now, the Maw comes with 2 shots, so as long as you don't fire them both at the same time, you should be able to keep the burn going off every time you line up your ramming runs. Or if you're someone who just likes to do big chunky damage, fire off both of the mines and then explode them before you ram, whichever works best for you. Now, on deck, Chester went with a full complement of fire bombard 3s, which is how you will set off your fiery explosions before you ram. Now, some of you may think that he went super lazy with this, but there is a bit of method to this madness. See, the smaller ship profile can make some attack runs a bit difficult, so the bombards allow you to fire over any allied ships that may block your line of sight. Things also get dicey when you follow a convoy out into the open ocean, so if this happens, you can also fire over the waves and still hit your target. For furniture, we have war drums to assist with stamina management. This also comes with a nice little armor bonus as well. The medicine cabinet is here with us too, and this is also for stamina management, but this helps to manage your stamina when you're being attacked, because yes, you do drain more stamina or have more stamina drain when you're under attack. We have the Lamari Makanan 1. This is yet another stamina manager. And we also have the emergency sails. Now, the emergency sails assist with chasing down ships. Remember the ship's main perk that I mentioned earlier, the one that gives you a speed boost when chasing a ship within 300 meters? This works the same way, but at 400 meters instead, and with a 10% boost. So you just start going faster sooner. The final 2 pieces are going to enhance the ablaze status, and that comes from the Devil's Concoction and the Gunpowder Bench 1. This boosts our burning weapon damage, burning weapon range, and boosts damage done to ships that have the ablaze status on them. When I asked Chester about how best to use this build, he said that you'll want to be aggressive. You drop down a mine right next to your target, fire a round at it with your bombards as you prepare to ram. This will set off all 4 perks when you do ram, rinse and repeat. Now, those of you who are worried about survivability should take note about the armor that he has selected here, and that is the Pachacha. This armor heals your ship when you ram other ships. So you know how he just said you'll want to be aggressive? Yeah, he's not wrong here, because the more aggressive you are with your ramming, the healthier you will be, because the Pachacha heals 100% of the damage you do when ramming. So, if you ram a target for 2,000 damage, you heal your ship for 2,000 whole health. That's the idea. A food suggestion was also made here as well. Basically, any of the event food will work perfectly because it will help you with your ship speed and reload speed. I said it before and I will say it again, not too damn shabby. So thank you again to Captain Chester, and thank you to the Moonshine Armada. Nice shout out to all of you out there. And if you would like to join us, be sure to pop by for a Discord link during our live streams. We've been doing them on Saturdays. This weekend we will be streaming for the final weekend going into into year 2 season 1. So yeah, you should definitely come by and join us. Next up, and the final ship today, is going to be my barge, the Agni Kai. Shout out to anyone who gets the reference, but this ship, class-wise, is the smaller brother of everyone's favorite firebug, the Sandbug. Now, the barge's perk is called Wildfire, and Sandbug mains should feel right at home here, because this ship's main perk also spreads that sweet, sweet fire all over the Indian Ocean. Applying a blaze to any ship will cause other ships within 125 meters to also catch fire. Weapon damage also just gets a flat 20% damage boost, because why not? And burning damage increases the ablaze charge speed by 150%. Now, torn sails will also activate here while you set things ablaze. We are not doing anything with torn sails, but I still wanted to point it out to you though, just in case anyone noticed it and saw that I didn't point it out. Now, on deck, we have the Agni's Fury Seafire weapon. Not everyone in the community is crazy about this thing, I get it, but I like it on the Barge because of the lower profile that the ship has. My medium-sized ships seem to overshoot targets with the Agni, but my Barge seems to land more shots from the angle I have to actually use it from. I also like how much more ammo I can add to it with certain furniture, and I feel like it does a great job of building up a blaze even though it only has burning 1 for a fire perk. Now, some of you captains probably missed out on this next set of long guns, so I have an alternative. But if you're lucky enough to have a pair of Nashkar long guns, these go great here. They spread fire nicely, do really good damage since we're getting like a 70% damage bonus from the DPS perks. Yeah, this thing gets nuts with the damage sometimes. And if you hit a weak point, you get a wonderful healing boost from the weapon perk. Now, if you do not have these fire long guns, work perfectly fine here. There's just no healing bonus that you're going to get from the guns. Now, I put Phoenix Talons on my stern because of the burning damage bonus you get from shooting a target with the ablaze status on it, and with literally everything on fire when you're using this ship, it almost seems silly not to use this weapon in this situation. For auxiliary, I'm just using a simple Rocket 3 because of the burning 2 perk it has. In case you haven't noticed, every single weapon on this ship except for the Seafire weapon has burning 2 on it. So this is another reason why we're burning ships quite nicely as we go. For armor, I'm using the Buccaneer's Oath because I love that once we take out a ship, we get 1 more damage bonus of 25%, which puts us at a 95% damage boost for 30 seconds, and that is just silly. When it comes to wrapping up this build, we have our furniture. We're going with Munitions Mixer, which will reduce the damage we do with a blaze by 30%, but will increase the time a ship has the ablaze status on it. This seems bad, but we're going to offset this with the Gunpowder Bench 1. This is supposed to increase the damage we do to ships with the blaze on them by 10%, but since we took the 30% hit with the mixer, this is at least going to bring the damage reduction to 20% instead of 30%. Next, smoked canisters will give us more ammo in my Seafire weapon. As mentioned, it also reduces the reload time and increases the range of the Seafire weapon too. Devil's Concoction increases the damage of our burning weapons and boosts the range even more a bit. Quick Igniting Powder and Volatile Fuel increases the charge rate and the duration of a blaze. Now, as you can see, even though I am taking a 20% hit to my damage when it comes to targets that have a blaze on them, this build can still do some serious damage. And while I am mainly using it for convoys, don't sleep on its boss potential, especially if you're running around in a group. But the fires you start can really disrupt an entire fleet if they are grouped up when you're chasing after convoys, and the boost you get to a blaze will allow you to start fires in a moment's notice if needed, allowing you to keep on the heat while you speed around the battlefield. That is also why I think it's good for bosses, because while it does limit the amount of ships you're going to be setting on fire, you still have the ability to keep them on fire, and the size of your ship is going to help you with survivability. Funnily enough, one of the things that Chester and I appreciate the most about the smaller ships is the survivability that you get in them. Seems like a bad idea because of the size, but that is actually where these ships shine. Because in most fights, ships will have a hard time hitting you with their strongest attacks because of your tiny ass little hitbox. And since these ships weigh less than their medium-sized brothers, they also accelerate much quicker, which can keep you out of danger longer. So again, don't sleep on the small ships, especially now that we're going into year 2 and larger ships are, pun intended, on the horizon. What I'm hoping that means is that there's going to be a lot more activity for our smaller ships in the canals, and builds like this will have you thriving inside of those smaller areas. But that is going to do it for me, captains. Double ship build video today. Again, yes, it's the end of the season, the end of the year, and things are going to change, but this is a live service game that's different from things like Destiny or even like, you know, Last Descendant, I don't think we're gonna have a huge shakeup to our sandbox. So things that are valid now, just like the dev said last week, they want to keep the time to kill and everything similar to what it is now once we get into the next year. So that's why I believe things like this will still be relevant. But I'm done rambling. I have been Captain Cash of Stampede, and come see us this Saturday. We'll see you in the seas. Have a good one, Captain.
We will send you guns!